Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll earn the honor and privilege of your subscription. And of course, to everybody who's watching, if you enjoy this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button down below. And if you'd like to help support the channel financially so that I keep making videos on building guitars, head over to eguitarplans.com or my Highline Guitars merch store. There's links in the description below, and there you can make purchases that will help support this channel. And if you want to keep it simple, you can just click the thanks button, leave a tip in an amount that you think is fair. So what I'm going to talk about today is a controversy which has been stirred up very recently. Yes, this is in regards to the whole ongoing, never-ending Tonewood debate. It seems about a week or two ago, the Chicago Music Exchange, which is a fantastic guitar store in downtown Chicago, produced a video that they posted to their YouTube channel where they had invited guitar maker Paul Reed Smith to give a talk. And what Paul talked about in this video was his position on this whole Tonewood debate. And if you've been watching any of the videos that Paul has done recently, he's done quite a few interviews that are on the internet, on YouTube. And he talks about his belief that wood has a dramatic impact on the tone of a solid body electric guitar. And his whole argument has been well crafted and is well scripted. So his message is consistent in just about all the different interviews that he does. And this one particular interview, which was done at, like I said, the Chicago Music Exchange a couple weeks ago, he repeated a lot of the same ideas and concepts. And I'll put links to those videos in the description below so that you can go check them out. But it has spawned a plethora of reaction videos from other YouTube content creators like myself. And I wanted to go ahead and do sort of a reaction video, but not necessarily a reaction video to the Chicago Music Exchange video with Paul Reed Smith. I wanted to do a reaction video to the reaction videos. Now, I'm not going to show their videos and dive into it, only because I don't see that much value in being critical about what other people are saying about this. But I find it really interesting that there are basically two camps in this whole Tonewood debate. Those who firmly believe that wood has an effect on tone, and those who say it doesn't. And they go at each other with such intensity. But the thing is, I can't help but wonder, what's the point? Whether, you know, the fact of the matter is, guitar players out there are continuing to make music. They're continuing to play their guitars and record music. And it doesn't seem to matter whether or not the wood has an effect on the tone. So you've got these people over here screaming and yelling at each other about wood and its effect on tone. And then you've got all these other people over here saying, oh, okay, well, whatever. I'm just going to play my guitar and record some music. And they do. So in the end, it's like, why can't we just stop arguing about wood and its effect on tone? Because clearly it doesn't matter. And that's really always been my position regarding wood and its effect on tone. I've always believed that it does affect tone. But the effect is not that significant. And furthermore, it doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter, because a lot of guys think that you can shape the tone of an electric guitar based on the selection of the wood. In other words, if you want a warm tone in your guitar, you would pick mahogany. If you want a really bright, crisp tone, you'd select maple. Or, you know, if you had mahogany for the body, you could put a maple cap on it, and in that way you can sort of dial in and massage the tone. But the reality is you can't, and nobody actually does that. I don't care what people say. I can go into my lumber supplier and select 5 similar size, similar dimensioned slabs of mahogany or mahogany boards, and every one of them is going to have a different so-called tap tone, because they were all cut from different trees that were grown in different environments. And as a result, they just don't have the same sound. I've had mahogany that sounded as bright or so bright that you would think it was maple if you didn't know better. I've had maple that sounded really warm. It's just how wood is. It's not, the tone is not determined by the species, it's determined by the specific board. Moisture content affects it, how much sunlight the tree was getting, how much wind it was exposed to, you know, was it on a steep hill, on a flat plain? All these things affect how the tree grows and what the tone is going to sound like from the boards that are cut from that tree. So the idea that you can select a specific species and that's what's going to generate the tone of your guitar is just preposterous. Now we know that when the strings vibrate, that's where the electrical signal is being generated. Because when the strings vibrate, they're vibrating within the magnetic field of the pickups. That in turn is triggering the electrons to flow in the coil, and that's your outgoing signal. So the frequency of the vibrating strings is being detected and converted from a mechanical vibration and energy into an electrical signal. So if the wood is vibrating, that in turn is affecting how the string is vibrating. And it's also vibrating the pickups. So all of this vibration that's going on is going to affect the frequencies that are encapsulated in that outgoing signal. I'm not going to argue that. I know that for a fact. However, once you've built the guitar, the tone that the wood is going to contribute, or whatever the wood is going to contribute to the tone, is done. You're set. You can't change it. If you decide after you've built the guitar that you don't like the way it sounds, what are you going to do? Are you going to reshape the guitar to try to manipulate the tone? Are you going to just toss it out and start over with a different species? Of course not. That's a waste of wood. It's a waste of time. You know, and imagine if guitar builders, guys who make solid body guitars, approached it the same way that guys who make acoustic guitars. When you make an acoustic guitar, you're shaving the braces, you're thinning the top and the sides in order to dial in and achieve a specific tone. You're changing the basic shape, mostly from the inside. But with a solid body guitar, you can't do that. You would have to carve away wood on the outside. Well, imagine if Gibson or Fender did that with all their guitars. Every single Stratocaster, Telecaster, Les Paul, SG would look different from one another because of manipulations to the wood in order to achieve that consistent tone that they desire for that particular model of guitar. They don't do that, and they never will. So this idea that wood can be selected and manipulated to achieve a specific tone is silly. And so ultimately in the end, if the guitar that you built is yielding a tone that you're not satisfied with, the only thing you can really do is change the pickups, maybe change the gauge of strings, some of the electronic components such as your capacitor on your tone pots. You can change the value of the pots. You can change the cable going out to your amplifier. You can change whatever pedal effects you're using. You can change the speaker in your cabinet. You can change the amplifier. There's so many things you can do. You can play it through software and process the tone that way. There's a tremendous number of things that you can do that has nothing to do with the wood. So really, in the end, my reaction to Paul's video and to all the other guys who were reacting to Paul's video is, stop it. It's done. There's no point in discussing this anymore. Focus on building your guitars and focus on playing your guitars. And if at any point you decide you don't like the tone, swap out the pickups, change the cable, change the speaker, change the amplifier, change the electronics, manipulate the software that you can use to process the signal. There's so many other things you can do. And instead, we can just build great looking guitars and not worry so much about whether or not the wood we chose was the right wood for the tone that we're after. It's just silly. So I hope that you find this video to be thought-provoking. In the comments section below, let me know what you think about all this. Go watch that Paul Reed Smith video, and I'll try and post some links to some of the reaction videos. And you know, I would love it if we could make 2024 the year that we finally put the stupid Tonewood debate to rest for good. So I know that's wishful thinking and it's probably never going to happen, but hey, one never knows. If we could do that, then maybe we could focus on building some really cool looking guitars out of some really amazing timbers and make the whole world of guitars that much more interesting. So in the meantime, though, as always, click the thumbs up button, visit eguitarplans.com, Highline Guitars merch store, links in the description below, leave a tip, and I hope you be back for the next guitar building video.